Excited to get back on the field with the guys today. We had a good Monday as far as install goes and getting the first step of preparation ready for the game. Looking back on the game, I thought there was a lot of good things we could take from it. Usually when you watch tape, nothing's as good as you think or as bad as you think. We did some good things in the first half. Did some bad things the second half. Obviously, the second half really started to click for us. It's been a process to get everybody working together and on the same page and new pieces and knowing the little details and things that it takes to make plays work and make plays on defense. That's what we're going to continue to work on. And I think the kids are in a good spot, understanding and feeling confident in where they can go, but knowing we still have a lot of things we can fix.
How would you evaluate the offensive line, that group that's working together for the first time?
Yeah, I don't really want to single out the O-line because to me it's the run game in general. And I will say this, the running backs played well. Everybody that got in played well. Running backs make O-lines look better, and O-lines make running backs look better. And sometimes receivers and quarterbacks are part of that too. The first half we gave up 2 sacks, and that was all we gave up. But that 2 is too many. I thought one of the promising things to see was to see us control the ball when we needed to at the end of the game and just be able to run it. But that's a team effort, not one person or one unit.
Are they firing off the ball up front like you want?
It's a lot better. We can get better at every position. So I know they work on that all the time, and hopefully that continues to improve. But I like what I see.
What's your concern level about the run defense and how can that improve? What are the areas that can get better at?
Consistency, Sam. When you watch the game, even me being on the headset with those guys, we'll knock a run out for 1 and then 1 for -2. We've had too many that have creased, and that's just detail. We're going to do a little more ones versus ones this week. Some ways I feel as a head coach watching, like the defense needs to see those plays being run at the speed that the one offense can give them. And even though we don't get perfect looks on either side and trying to give each other a look, I think it's important to continue to do those things. So we'll do a little more of that. We weren't able to do much of that last week coming off a trip overseas.
You played safety in the NFL. You know that. You know the secondary position well. Your 2 safeties have played 155, 153 snaps, about 155. How have you seen them play? And this is kind of new for both of them. How have they done?
I think they've both been solid. I think one of the keys is making sure that whoever else is the 3rd and 4th guys are ready to go in, feel confident. We feel confident in them. We got a lot of guys capable, and they're working their way toward that. I don't want to put that many plays on those guys every week, but Miles has been really solid. Marquise has made some really good plays for us, so I feel good about those 2 guys. We need to make sure that the 3rd and 4th guys can spell them a little bit.
Coach, did you feel like you improved tackling-wise from week 1 to week 2? And kind of how do you work on tackling in practice?
We work on tackling all the time. The one thing you can't get is too many live reps in practice, and I think we probably get as many or more than most. But at the end of the day, there's really no substitute for actually live bullets and getting those reps. And we got a lot of guys that have made a lot of tackles in their career here that I'm less worried about, and some guys that are newer that haven't made as many tackles. But when you watch college football, and I'm working too hard to watch a lot of it, but you see a lot of early season stuff going on that teams have to fix, and we're no different than anybody else. There's things that we need to continue to improve on.
How do you think Ernest Hausman did, and how do you want to handle that inside linebacker position as you guys get from the next injury?
First major play for Ernest, thought he held up well. He has a chance to be a special player around here. He's going to provide depth along with Va for us and Snodgrass when he gets back for the 2 starters. We moved Chris inside for the game to make sure we were good there. Feel good about that position, having Giff and Buddha and Chris. So it's great to have a guy like Chris that can move inside or out.
How about A.J. Allen, the freshman on the offensive side? What does he do, and how does he complement
Well, I've said this a bunch. We got a lot of running backs I trust to go in that can make plays, and I hope they all get their shot. AG's done a great job with his plays, and AJ's done a great job with his plays, and I have no doubt that there's some other guys that will too. So that's going to continue to be a competition.
Scott, like you said, you looked at the film and you know some things in the first half. You said you did some good things that maybe you didn't make jump out at you during the game. What were some of those good things in the first half that maybe was overlooked in the heat of the moment?
Yeah, one of the positives, and I don't want to jinx it, but our first drive out of both first halves have been touchdowns. Our first drive and second halves have been touchdowns. So when we have a plan and go in, and we've been executing it pretty well. I think familiarity with scheme and adjustments and everything as kids get more familiar in the scheme, hopefully some of those drives can take place after first drives with a little more frequency. I didn't realize after the game we'd only had 4 possessions on offense in the first half. They did a good job of picking up a couple first downs and keeping the ball away from us. The punt block by Javen Wright was certainly a big play for us, and it was good to see us make an impact play on special teams. Other than the one drive, I thought the defense held up real well in the first half. So, but you got to play complete games. The offense has to play well, defense has to play well, and special teams has to play well. And we'll definitely need to play more complete games to get wins down the road.
Scott, did you like what you got out of your tight end, especially with Travis sideline?
Yeah, they gave Bork a lot of crap for being nervous and dropping the first ball, but he settled in and played really well. Chancellor Brewington's a special kid. He is tough, can do about anything we ask him. He played really well too. AJ got quite a few snaps, and that was good to get him his first experience. We're looking forward to having Travis back real soon.
You mentioned all the skill guys you have. How tough is that to balance playing time? Like Gabe Irvin kind of pops in there late in the third quarter. You want to get a guy touches, but you're in the middle of a tight game. What's that balance like as a coach?
It's tough because there's a lot of guys that deserve to play, and guys just have to be ready when they get their opportunity. And the one thing we can't do is ever have it be about an individual. The team's bigger than any of us, and we're gonna put the guys on the field we think give us the best chance. There's a few positions where we have a lot of guys that are capable, and sharing those reps is going to be a challenge.
What kind of person do you have to be to do what Chance is willing to do every game? I mean, he's pretty thankless. I know he got a touchdown, but a lot of what he does is blocking guys that are bigger than him, doing sort of gritty tasks.
Yeah, I can make a highlight tape already of him making some impactful and impressive blocks. He's a selfless kid. He does anything we ask him. He's one of the toughest guys on the team, and I have a ton of respect and admiration for him.
Scott, I think I saw Brandon Moore pop out there late in the game. I mean, his story, just a guy who's out of football a few years and getting back out there. You've known him a while. What was that like to see that?
Yeah, Bam's one of the players I've coached that I'm the closest with, and he's like a son to me. So I said it when he came. If he ends up helping us a bunch this year, then that's great. If we end up helping him, then it's worth it for me.
Without going too far into the Anthony Grant discussion, on film, did anything jump out at you after you watched it?
I thought the vision of the running backs in general, everybody that got a chance, was really good. They saw some cracks and hit some seams to get extra yards that were hard to see. Thought Anthony's patience was really good on a couple of the runs, not just running blindly up in there, but waiting for blocks to develop. And with a lot of these guys, if we can get them on the second level, we have a chance to make big plays now. And it's kind of up to the O-line and the coaching staff to get us in the right place and the right schemes to make sure that some of these backs can get in space.
Scott, you mentioned multiple times Ramir Johnson's in between the positions of wide receiver and running back. What does that mean exactly? Not the playbook yet, behind guys that do the position. What's going on there?
He had an unbelievable week. Ramir had an unbelievable week of practice last week at receiver. There's still some detail as you're spending a lot more time at that position. There's some detail to it that it just takes a while to learn. He's one of the guys I feel the worst for right now, but I have no doubt he's going to be a big part of what we're doing through the course of this season. He's too good a player not to. So we kind of had a plan to get him in more than we got him in Saturday, but we'll keep looking for spots to use him because he's got a lot of talent.
Is he going to be more part of the game plan this week?
I don't know. We'll see.
Is he kind of a fan of that, being a receiver more than running back?
I think he just one of the things I really respect about him. He's going to do whatever it takes to help the team, and obviously he did a lot of that last year as a running back. I think he's capable as a receiver. He's looked really good out there, so he's capable of helping us a lot of places. We have more depth at both those spots than we've had in the past, so it's going to take him a little while to get really comfortable outside. We know we can move him back in the backfield anytime we need.
Their quarterback, George Southern quarterback, saw him last year with Buffalo, right? How beneficial is that, you not having some tape on it?
Yeah, it helps. You know, he's familiar with this place and he's been in this environment before too, so it probably helps him. Little different scheme in offense and different uniform. He's a good player. You know, Buffalo gave us everything we wanted to handle last year, and he was a part of that. So we got a challenge coming in here.
How well do you know Clay Helton just from your Pac-12 days?
A little bit. Got a ton of respect for him for everything he accomplished there as a coordinator and head coach, and I'm sure coming into a new place that had run a different scheme on offense, there was a lot of challenges there. Judging on the way they played first week, they've done a really good job.
I know you said there was a few dumb things on special teams Saturday, but how do you feel overall about sort of where that operation is at?
I feel good. I think we got, our punter has been really good. Our punt protection has been good. Kickoff coverage was good. There was one that almost got out. Cooper Jewett made a great play and was in the right place. There's a lot of effort and detail going on. There's a lot of situations that can come up in special teams. And if you watch games around the country again this week, there's special teams plays that won and lost games for people. A couple of the things that happened the other day were sloppy mistakes that I know have been covered several times, and kind of a couple rare things, but we need to be smart enough to make the right play when those things happen. And we'll just keep covering them.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, Mark Helfrich is calling as the analyst here this week. You gonna get a chance to catch up with him at all?
I didn't know that. Helfie's one of my favorite guys. He's smart and funny a guy as you'll ever be around, and a great coach. So I didn't know that, but I can't wait to see him.
Scott, does it help having, I guess, what you call a normal game week of preparation as opposed to what you guys have dealt with the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, that travel took a lot out of us last week, and I think we'll fall more into a normal routine now, and that certainly can't hurt.
Now that you've watched him call plays for 2 games, what have you learned about Mark Whipple that maybe you didn't know before?
He's a competitor. He's intense, but I guess I already knew that. We did a great job. I thought he did a great job in the second half. The whole staff did, and the more collaboration and communication there is, the better. That's tough when you're kind of speaking different languages, and everybody needs to keep coming together better. And I thought the second half was an example of that. And that's players and coaches. The more familiar we get with one another and what we're doing, the better we're going to be.
Were some of those run plays stuff that you've run before where you had Chance and then Manning kind of pulling like that? Is that new, or is that stuff you've done before?
That's stuff a lot of people do, Sam. The Rams make a living on it. And, there's fads in football. And thought we were in some good stuff Saturday.